Mostly people are interested in ornating themselves, having something that looks nice in their skin. And then we have to ask ourselves, what is the reasons for getting tattoos?
My name is Jannicke Wiese-Hansen, or Jannicke Wiese-Hansen. I work at Needhug Tattoo here at Bryggen, and I've been tattooing for about 28 years now.
For me, it started in my childhood. It was like an obsession from very early age. The magic of being able to make color or ink stay under the skin. It fascinated me so much that I remember spending a lot of time thinking about how this was possible, seeing the old sailors at the time that were around, where I grew up, but also where I went in the summers down the south coast.
I used to try to be a potato, as they say, which is usable for everything, like colors and black and gray and portraits and old school. But after a while I started specializing in wood texture and wood carving tattoos. That's become my specialty, especially inspired by Norse mythology and the ornamentic portals on the stave churches of Norway.
I'm tattooing only by hand. I left my machines behind in 2016. Been working with machines since I started tattooing in '95, but my first tryouts with tattooing was by hand. And it's always been a part of my tattoo life that I've been doing some work by hand and some with a machine. But from 2016 I made the decision that from now on I'll only work by hand. So for me it's been a journey through the tools of the trade, so to speak, and starting at some point, working by hand and understanding the old sailor way, and then returning to it.
Today I continued an Urnes-inspired upper sleeve. I've done his lower arm from before, and Urnes is one of the most beautiful stave churches we have in Norway. And it's a really recognized pattern that you can see in jewelry and necklaces and everything. And he wanted something from that carved portal on the side of that church. He's really buff and he's working out a lot. And Urnes is a really nice pattern to enhance his muscles, kind of, because it's a very flow and it goes a lot in, the style goes a lot in eighths, and it's a very organic kind of style.
It is very much based in what is known as Urnes style. And so she wanted a design in this style made for her. She's been coming several times to create this piece, and it was first started with me drawing freehand on her back, using a marker to get a good flow to make it move well with her movement, since it's a large piece, that was obviously very important to her.
A lot of tattooers, they draw in advance on paper and make a stencil, and then you put it on the body. While the way I often, or most often work, maybe I use a stencil 1% of the times that I tattoo. The rest is doing a magic marker and just work on the skin and draw on it, because that will really follow the curves and the angles and the motions of the skin. So to me, it just makes more sense. If I'm going to carve something, it needs to be in the shape of the arm and follow it. If I use a stencil on something, I'm going to redraw it probably 3 times before I'm happy with it anyway. To draw on paper is very static. To draw on skin, it's kind of sometimes like drawing on lutefisk. Because it's an emotion, and it's soft and it's kind of movable. So I really liked to work on it. And now, since I've been tattooing for that long, it's actually easier to make that effect on skin for me than it is to make it on paper.
It is a very high concentration level. And that really interests me, that it pulls me, going into this super concentration and knowing really, really clear in the back of my mind that this stays forever. That permanency, that is another aspect that pulls me. That you actually have to make a permanent decision, something, as I see it, very much lacking in today's society. People make choices and they move away from the choices.
Because the world is turning colder and more plastic, people are trying to get back to their roots. But it's people coming from all over who wants this stuff. I mean, the Norse mythology is amazing. It's good stories and it's good gods. So it could be a lot with that. It has also a lot to do with metal and Viking metal and the whole genre there, which is a lot of the metal that comes from Scandinavia. People want them Scandinavian tattoos, which would be this. I think it with Tor and me, kind of, I don't know, in a way it's promoting Norwegian art and culture. We also use a lot of runes in our expressions, and a lot of places in the world runes have been connected to the right side too much, to the extremist right side.
And that was something that we had to deal with in the first years of working with this style, that some people still felt that these kind of ornaments belonged on the far right side. There's been examples of far right people using them as symbols for some sort of white power ID.
And we're definitely trying to take that back. There are some bands like Vardruna now is also trying to just take it back as a cultural expression and to kind of cleanse them from the abuse on the right side.
It's our heritage, and it's something that should be a part of us or a part of our culture, something we can and should be proud of. And the rest of the world is really curious about it, interested, because this is what we have to show to the world. The findings that have been done or have been made in Norway are truly amazing.
få det til også?
I've always liked Norse mythology, and drawing, and wood carvings, and working with people. So I guess if you draw all of those together, this would be the perfect job for it.
Yes.
They want to feel connected with this. They want to feel the connection with what their roots are, what their ancestor maybe stood for, or they're looking for something that maybe is lacking today. And then we have to ask ourselves, what is the reasons for getting tattoos? And that goes so far back that is beyond our culture. That is coming from somewhere in the roots of humanity. This fascination is ever present, and they tried to remove it. They tried it politically, they tried it culturally. The tattoos are here to stay.